wanted to get Brampton healthy. And immediately they jumped on board and figured out how we were going to do this. And before you knew it, attitudes were contagious. And we had live entertainment. We had Maple Lodge on board to give out food. We had Chunks of Fruity there to give healthy popsicles. And then I started to do some work talking to some of the media. And we went down and met with CBC. And there's a national movement called Live Right Now. And they launched it in January. And they were trying to lose 1 million pounds across Canada. So I came back with this brilliant idea after a 2-hour brainstorming session, and CBC, very, very excited. They said, "You guys are crazy, and the city's behind you. So we'd really like to come out with national television crew on June the 4th and celebrate this. Would you pledge some weight loss for the city of Brampton?" So we looked at the population, and we knew we were around 430,000. So we took a leap of faith and said we collectively would pledge to lose just 125,000. Little did I know that that pledge was the largest municipality pledge across the country and officially pushed them over the 1 million pound challenge mark. So I got a phone call and said, please have the city there. We will be there. We are going to go do a live hit across the country on June the 4th from Flower City campus. Well, we were there, we were set up, and we had to tear down when the winds started. But the Champions for Change Council hung tight, and we went live across the country on June 4th with CBC. They made an announcement, and for the last 3 weeks, we've been inundated with emails. And it was a blessing in disguise, because now the event has changed to this Sunday, the 26th. It is bigger and better. We have local businesses that have stepped up to the plate. Gregory's Catering, or Catering by Gregory, is going to provide healthy food. CBC has got us up on their website. They informed me yesterday, and Madame Mayor, I have to apologize because we have a gift for you. And flying down here to get here on time, leaving my clinic, I left it there. There's a Live Right Now t-shirt that they want to give you, and at 12 noon on Sunday, they are going to be there taping a segment that will play on Canada Day from Parliament Hill from our fantastic city. And they're very, very excited. They're bringing their mascot, and they let me in on a little bit of a secret. In the fall, they're going to be making an announcement for communities that have lived right now in the Live Right Now movement and continued their journey. They are going to crown the most active city in Canada. And because of what this council has done and the city of Brampton and ideas we have moving forward over the summer using our beautiful parklands, our world-class facilities and the facilities here in Brampton, she told me yesterday that if we keep this up, we are strong contenders to be named Canada's healthiest active city. And with that crown, if we get it, comes this is the way she put it, a huge broadcasting opportunity nationwide. It's amazing to me the power of passion, commitment, and encouragement and collaboration with business owners and the city of Brampton. So we're here today to empower you to come out with your families on Sunday at Flower City campus, help us smash a world record, whether you just watch, whether you cheer on your family, whether you take part in it so your kids can be in the Guinness World Record, have some good food, enjoy some live entertainment, help us put us in the record books, and let's show the rest of Canada that the city of Brampton means business when it comes to getting healthy. Thank you.
Is so inspiring. There isn't a single speaker on the board. We're all going, wow.
I also have pledge forms here. I'm not leaving without some help. 125,000 pounds isn't a lot, but we're taking photos here. CBC is waiting to receive photos from this meeting today to upload on their CBC Live Right Now website. These pledge forms are going to be available at the event on Sunday. You can pledge a quarter of a pound. You can pledge 10 pounds. You can encourage someone else to lose pounds. You can have corporate challenges. We've got the Peel Board of Education on board now for healthier schools. We've got all the sports teams. Sarge is going to be there. So I'm going to leave these here for council members and for city members to please make your pledge and hand them in to us so we can proudly show CBC that we're going to actually get into action. And we're going to host events all summer long so we can reach this or maybe surpass this goal.
I think that's fantastic. Councillor Callahan.
How do you How do you prove that the person that gives you the card has lost the weight?
That's a great question, and it's not about that. What it is about is inspiring people to try to live healthier. And a piece of that is to just provide opportunities for them to eat healthier, to recreate, to do public walks, to maybe use our facilities to swim, to see our recreation centers used more often. This is a pledge, not a gun to someone's head. But it is an accountability piece to say, listen, we can do this a little bit at a time. And I think as health and wellness professionals, and certainly as council members, we should be advocates for health and well-being on so many levels in our city. So there's no real accountability other than the fact that one city, and maybe we want to think about doing this, brought up a great big huge scale.
I think that'd be a good idea.
How much fun would that be in a photo op? Took a picture and weighed people in the beginning of the month, and then did it again at the end of the month to see how much weight they'd lost. So we can prove through visuals that we can do this, but more importantly, CBC, oh, and by the way, CTV is also coming. I had lunch with Tom Hayes on Friday. We were getting a lot of recognition nationwide about this, and you know, who knew that 4 local business people could just have an idea, and with the help of you, it's going to happen.
You should have them pledge a few pounds. You're getting a little chunky, I think.
And Champions for Change is continuing on July 10th. We're jumping out of an airplane to raise money. Oh, that's the other part. We're raising money for juvenile diabetes and the CARE program here in Brampton. So on Sunday, when we raise money through all the funds that we're doing, we're giving back to the community that's giving to us. But if you want to jump out of an airplane with me too, you can do that on July 10th.
Jump out of an airplane.
Yep.
No, I think
With a parachute.
I'll pledge 100 pounds instead.
Sign up.
Safer.
Here you go. I'm leaving it with you.
Giving up cigarettes was tough.
That's a good step.
Councillor Sanderson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You said that Margaret inspired you. She inspires me every time I listen to her. She's just an amazing person for the community. I can remember when she opened her business, I was there as the president of the Board of Trade, and I actually did the opening for her. And she's never forgot me, and she keeps calling on me when she's doing something like this. I'm surprised that you haven't called me when you want somebody to challenge and lose weight, because I'd be a good contender. So I'm up for the challenge, and I'll certainly take one of those there. And I would challenge any other member on council that might want to, and see how many pounds council can lose.
I love it. Now that's a soundbite, if I've ever heard one.
But I won't jump out of a plane.
Okay. And I do have to make sure that I recognize my team behind me. I was told to be the spokesperson here, or elected. These are 3 incredibly dynamic, hardworking individuals who are really, apart from their day jobs and their families, rolling up their sleeves and making this happen. So, as someone said to you earlier, Madame Mayor, please, sunshine on Sunday.
Got it.
Thank you.
Councillor Sprovieri.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Margaret. And I certainly 100% endorse what you're trying to do here today. Just a question, what time is the event on Sunday? You didn't mention.
Sorry, it starts at 11 o'clock, live entertainment. We have Mystic Drums, a phenomenal world-class entertainer coming. We've got some demonstrations, health and wellness demonstrations, and 12 o'clock we will be shooting for CBC, and the record will be attempted between 1 and 2 o'clock, right, Jen? 1 and 2 o'clock. We have lots of prizes. That's how we're raising money. There's still opportunities to sponsor. We'll take money right up until the 11th hour. It's going to a good cause. But essentially between 11 and 3. There's also wonderful swag bags. The current record is 250 people. We want to smash this record and have 500 people exercising at once. And I can't say enough about the city and the logistics and helping us figure out how we're going to do this safely. They've just been unbelievable in supporting us, and we couldn't have done it without them.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I know the Catch the Spirit team is coming out and doing an email blast, which goes directly into over 20,000 homes, so we'll be inviting people to come and work out and participate and donate, and all of those ways to participate. Thank you all for having an idea and then engaging the people to see this idea come to fruition, and really what a success. But we're not there till we get to Sunday and we smash that record, so we look forward to it and accept the challenge. Maybe we could get in a group scale, and then if we group gain weight one week, we'll all be looking at each other saying, well, I lost, somebody else must have gained. But it's That's it. That's every pound counts, or, so we look forward to it, and that's this Sunday at the Flower City campus, starting at noon and going at 11 o'clock. Okay.
The activities start at 11, the record will be broken between 1 and 2, but there's lots happening between 11 and 2.
All righty then. Well, sounds like a lot of excitement. Thank you for sharing that with us, and you couldn't have been here if the weather hadn't interfered. I was responsible for that. I wanted you here. Thank you, Councillor, for that contribution. The next announcement, Councillor Sanderson, you want to tell us about Dreams Take Flight, and Bill Sanderson is here to tell us how that event went on May 11th, 2011.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to introduce, obviously, my brother, Bill Sanderson, who's been president of Dreams Take Flight. He'll tell you that, I can't remember. But what I can tell you is that he's done it for a number of years, and there's been a lot of support over the years from different organizations. In the last few years, the City of Brampton and the Region of Peel has come on board as a sponsorship via supplying some equipment and the crowd control fencing, and also the last couple of years is the stage that we have. And I can tell you from being down at the site, there is lots and lots of activity down there. And this year we actually sent one of our own staff members, Wendy Goss, and I would like it if after Bill's finished, if you don't mind, Madam Mayor, if Wendy could come up and give a little brief report on what she's done. I would just like to, before Bill starts, I would like to, and I hope I haven't taken any of his thunder here, but I'd like to thank Steve Salsky, Steve Wilson, Tony Medeiros, Jim McNally, Commissioner Lowry, and also our staff member Wendy Goss, and I hope I didn't miss anybody. Those are the staff members that have helped participate in the past, and I look forward to Bill's presentation.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, thank you very much. Dreams Take Flight started here in Toronto 22 years ago. We've been doing it for 22s, and it's strictly a volunteer organization. There are no salaries in Dreams Take Flight. All the monies we raise, we go directly to the children, and what we don't give to the children on the flight, we give them away at Christmas time. Right now, in the 22 years, we have taken over 21,000 children from across Canada to Walt Disney World or Walt Disneyland. Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver go to Disneyland, Winnipeg, Toronto, Montreal, Halifax, Ottawa go to Disney World. And for a while there, because I was very pushy with Air Canada, we were able to get a Boeing 747 4 years in a row. It's the only organization in the world or the Guinness Book of Records that's ever taken a 747. Not too many people want that challenge. And after the 747s were sold off, we started taking 2 Boeing 767, which gave us the same seating capacity as the bigger airplane. Now with the cutbacks, we've been cut back now to an Airbus A330, which is 265 seats. This year on the May 11th, was 176 children from all walks of life and all parts of Ontario went on the flight. It was an amazing trip. The children from out of town, we bring them in, we put them up in the Fairfield Marriott Hotel for the night, and they have an escort that stays with them and travels with them while they're on the flight. And then the local children, they come in and first thing in the morning. There's so much going on that we can't really do it in the terminals. We would never ever get away with some of the things that we pull off in the terminal. So we actually go to an Air Canada hangar. The entire hangar is made into anything to do with the children, blow-up costumes, slides. There's everything going on. There's different celebrities. Celebrities, when we were using celebrities, it was costing us a seat every time we would take one. Believe it or not, you use a big wrestler, he still has to have an escort go with them. So that cost us a seat for the children. Now we're working with our local service people, the firemen, the police, Metropolitan Toronto Police play a big factor. They come in the night before, go up on top of the hotel and jump off. They don't jump out of an airplane. They don't have parachutes either. They just jump down on a rope. They come sliding down the side of the building on the rope with their dogs and everything else. Peel Police are doing it now. They want to get involved too, so now they're coming out of the rafters in in the hangar there just to show the kids that they can do it too. This year, or next year coming up, the not the RCMP, the regional police anyway, they want to come in with the golden helmets, and they want to perform for the kids. So we just got this thing that if we can get at least 5 or 6 or even 10 of these children when they grow up to become policemen or firemen and that, then we've done an amazing job in that. This year, for the first time in the 22-year history of Dreams Take Flight, we took one young lady on the flight as a group leader. She was one of the very first children we took on the very first flight at Air Canada, so she has turned around. We also have another gentleman in Toronto, Thompson Egbo. He's played for Hilary Weston, Quincy Jones, and Prince Philip. He is now teaching music in Regency Music Club there. So we are seeing turnaround events from the different children we've taken. We've helped to change their lives. We've helped to turn them around. And on top of that, we were able to throw out one day to give them the most amazing trip they'll ever have in their life. I don't think there's anything else we can add to the trip that makes it more exciting than what we do. They have their own, very own Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. 2 years ago on our 20th anniversary, just to be a little bit different, through the Bill Blair from Metropolitan Toronto Police, he asked us if we would take 22 motorcycles to Florida. I got told I was crazy when I asked somebody to help us out to do it. Yet, through the Mackey Moving Company and Dealey Harley Davison, the truck and a brand new trailer, we were able to ship 22 motorcycles to Florida, on top of the 33 motorcycles from the Florida State Highway Patrol and 2 helicopters from the Florida airport to Disney World. We shut down the highways. They completely closed the highways off and let us go through with 15 buses full of kids. So it was an amazing event for any of the kids that were on those buses, seeing what was going on. We're waving to the people on the side of the road as we went through. I don't know how we're ever going to match that again, but we're not trying to right now. And like I said, this year we were forced to cut back so we could take as many children as we possibly could. Rogers TV has now come on board with us. They're now in all of our media coverage from now on with Jennifer Salazar. So it's going to be an amazing event. We've already started on next year's event, and like Wendy can tell you, I don't know what else we could do to make this worthwhile for the kids around here. And we can't do it. The City of Brampton's on board with that stage. It's an amazing thing. The Canada Customs and border crossing people are great. We still don't have to get passports, but I don't know how long we can keep on putting it off. But they've been working with us all along, making it so much easier for us to get the kids on board. And because if everybody had to have a passport, there would probably be some children that couldn't go. So thanks to them, thanks for the City of Brampton for their support and making Dreams Take Flight possible. Thank you.
I'm not the video. Sorry. Mayor Fennell, members of council, I did have the opportunity, I had the privilege actually of joining 176 children, 80 plus adults on a one-day trip to Disney World. It was an unforgettable journey, certainly for me. I know for the children it had to have been an unforgettable journey as well. And I'll be quite honest, I would be delighted to take part at any time once again. My day officially started at about 5 a.m. when I arrived at hangar number 8. There were hundreds of people who had started their day long before I did, so that certainly wasn't, I didn't have the record there by any means. There was a flurry of activity. There was food, there were activities, there were music, hundreds of welcoming smiles, and certainly lots of laughter and joy. I think the highlight of the morning was at 7 a.m. when the hangar doors opened and there was our jet, our plane waiting to whisk us away to Florida. A few hours later, and there was lots of fun and activity and games on the flight. That was courtesy of our flight crew. We were in Orlando. There were buses waiting there to whisk us away to Disney World. Very short ride. And when we got there, we got aboard the ferry and we were on our way to Magic Kingdom. there's a sign at the entry of Magic Kingdom that said where memories begin. I'm going to tell you our memories began long before that. We didn't have to get to Disney World. There were the smiles on those kids, and to see just the joy and the little bit of apprehension at some point. But sure opened up on the plane, though, I can tell you. It was very different on the plane. 10 hours later, 15 attractions and rides under our belts. For some of us who are not keen on roller coasters, we made firsts twice in my life. Anyway, went on roller coasters I wouldn't normally have gone on, but we had a great time. We had a quick shopping spree. In our case, we had 7 children. We were able to spend the most part of the money they got. The ladies did very well with our group. We stood on Main Street. We waited patiently for the start of the Wishes Nighttime Spectacular. It's the biggest and brightest firework extravaganza in Magic Kingdom's history. I can tell you it was awesome, and it was even more awesome for me because I had the ability to share the experience with these very special kids. Short bus ride back to the airport. A somewhat quieter ride on the way home on the plane. We were back at hangar number 8 about 2 a.m. Thursday morning, and I can tell you it was one of the most amazing 24 hours of my life, and I have memories that will last me a lifetime for sure. Thank you.
Short video. Is there a video that we're going to see? There we go.
In this episode of Urban Insider, we're taking you inside a nonprofit agency that has flown hundreds and hundreds of kids from Pearson Airport in Toronto to Disney World, the happiest place on earth. Every year, Dreams Take Flight take hundreds of kids with disabilities, serious illnesses, or who come from disadvantaged situations on the trip of a lifetime. In this episode of Urban Insider, we're going to take you inside this incredible organization to find out how they do it. Airports are places always full of emotion. Tearful goodbyes, happy hellos, excited and nervous travelers all passing through the same busy corridors every single day. But there probably isn't a single more emotional day at Pearson Airport than the one that takes place each year in May in a usually quiet Air Canada hangar. But before we take you inside the hangar that gets transformed into the most child-friendly check-in counter you'll ever see, and before we take off on a flight like no other, and before we witness a child's dream come true right before our eyes, we're going to find out what it takes for a nonprofit organization like Dreams Take Flight to take on a task as big as flying hundreds of special children to Disney World every year. Dreams Take Flight now makes dreams come true for kids in 8 different Canadian cities. Together, they have flown more than 13,000 special needs children to Walt Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California. Like all great nonprofit organizations, Dreams Take Flight exists thanks to the help of hundreds of volunteers and many generous cash and product donations. And by far the largest donation is the use of 2 Boeing Air Canada 767 aircraft. The majority of Dreams Take Flight volunteers are Air Canada employees. They come from all different departments and help out any way they can. It was in 1989 when Kathy Duchek and 3 other Air Canada staff members decided to give back to their community. Well, it all
Spoke to a couple of people who've gone on that, and they said it is the most tiring, fatiguing, exhilarating 24 hours of their life. It just is indescribable. So just a great effort, and I know the children appreciate it. On behalf of all of us here in Brampton, it's nice that we're able to connect with the use of corporate resources by redeploying our stage down to help in the departure area, moving the special event stage from Brampton into Mississauga is, I think, made an easier way to see some of the entertainment and acts. So I think that was organized by Councillor Sanderson. Councillor, did you want to?
Mayor, if I could just have the mic just for one more second
Sure.
here. I don't know, I've talked to Bill a couple different times, and I explained to him about your situation that you just went through there, and I think she's an eager candidate now, so I don't know whether he might have an offer for next year or not, so.
Okay, well, we'll talk. All righty. Thank you. The next announcement is we'd like to bring forward an announcement for the 3rd annual Lucas Day, and Rob Rutledge is coming forward.
Madam Mayor and members of council, I'm here today with my partner Lourdes Ribeiro, who we own Salon 247 and Al's Barbershop. 3 years ago, I met a young fellow, Lucas Downing, who was inspired to help young, unfortunate children, and so we came up with an idea of having Lucas Day. And so over the past 3 years, including this year, we've raised about $20,000. And this year, we wanted to give $5,000 to the City of Brampton Care Program. So I'd like to introduce Lucas Downing and his brother, if they want to just come forward.
Hi, Lucas, you're taller.
Madam Mayor, members of City Council, senior management team, and the citizens of Brampton. My name is Lucas Downing, and this is my brother Liam. When I was 8 years old, I decided I wanted to grow my hair for cancer, along with my brother, raise money for a little girl with cancer in Liam's class. It took 2 years to grow my hair, and my initial goal was to raise $500. As my hair grew, so did my fundraising efforts. Today, Lucas Day is an annual event thanks to the efforts of Rob, Al's Barbershop, and the staff of Salon 247, and many others. They have taken my dream of kids helping kids and have made it a huge reality. This was our 3rd year, and our focus was helping kids live healthier and more active lifestyles. We are happy to be here today to present $5,000 to the City of Brampton's Care Program. Thank you to the City of Brampton for all your support, both in the past and in the years to come. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Councillor Sanderson, did you want to speak to?
Yes, I did, Madam Mayor, if you don't mind. The $5,000, before I get into that part, I'd like to just thank again the staff that helped out with this. We couldn't put any of this on if we didn't have the assistance of Works and Trans with closing off the road, community service staff, again, a lot of the ones that I mentioned just previously, where they come out and help out. The fire department is very good. They have a truck on staff there, they have a truck on site most of the time. Peel Regional Police and lots of others of departments. So I'd like to thank also the mayor and the council for getting out and supporting this great event. And I got a little breakdown of what this $5,000 will do, and I'm going to hand this over to Director Rosa. She's going to give that.
Councillor Sanderson, why don't you join us for the picture? This is an idea that you've certainly advanced and been a part of and been there for.
Madam Mayor and members of council, senior management team, $5,000 will go a long way in the City of Brampton. It will send approximately 40 Brampton youth to summer camp for a week, or it will register 65 youth in swimming lessons, and we all know how important that is, especially going into the summer. Or it will allow 75 youth to participate weekly in programs like basketball, BMX, cricket, soccer, tennis, gymnastics, golf, and even horseback riding. So thank you very much on behalf of the City of Brampton, and in particular those people who are invested in recreation. We appreciate it.
Turn around and Thank you very much. Oh, this is this larger? Okay. Council, the final announcement today, we had said we were adding E8 about a member of our staff. And the member of our staff we're talking about today is none other than our beloved Kathy Zammit. Well, I don't know why you're applauding. I haven't told you why we're talking about her yet. Actually, word is out that Kathy has decided to retire, and in recognition of your time here in the city of Brampton, council has signed, well, it's a unanimous decision. It's a resolution of appreciation and thanks, and it's signed by all members of council. I wonder if I could just read that into the public record. Resolution of appreciation and thanks to Corporate Services Commissioner Kathy Zammit. Do you want this? Pass her. I know her. Whereas Kathy Zammit joined the city of Brampton in May 1991 as a deputy clerk, enthusiastic and eager to take on new opportunities, facing a progressive and growing city after having had a distinguished career with the city of Mississauga. And whereas Kathy was immediately recognized as an emerging leader within the city who possessed a get things done attitude to work and an honest, fun, and caring approach when dealing with members of council, employees, and the public, resulting in her subsequent promotions to the role of Manager of Administration, followed by Director of Council and Administrative Services, and Acting City Clerk in December 2000, and then her official appointment to the position of City Clerk in February 2006. And whereas Kathy's effective and extraordinary leadership skills and value to the city was further recognized in October 2008, when she was promoted to the position of Commissioner of Corporate Services, leading a new department of more than 170 exceptional staff with responsibility in the areas of enforcement and bylaw services, legal services, and council and administrative services. And whereas Kathy is a model civic leader, fair to everyone she deals with, dedicated in her work ethic, involved in her community, determined in her will to overcome obstacles, always consistent in her approach and practical in finding solutions, who has developed the confidence and trust of members of council, as well as city management and union staff alike, and who is respected by all who deal with her. And whereas Kathy has served 7 different councils in the city of Brampton, including 33 different members of council with exceptional integrity, skill, experience, and balance. And whereas Kathy's achievements in the city are too many to list, but which have all left an endearing and enduring positive imprint and legacy on this city and the corporation. And whereas Kathy has now decided to leave the city to, as she puts it, trade in her dress shoes for topsiders, to spend more time with her husband Chris, enjoying their boat up north and traveling. And whereas Kathy leaves this city a much richer place after 20 years of public service, with a legacy of great processes and good people to continue serving this city. Oh, it gets better. Whereas Kathy is the consummate professional leader, trusted advisor, fair and balanced administrator, honest and effective city clerk, and friend and colleague to so many Brampton citizens, employees, and members of council and the mayor. Therefore, be it resolved that Brampton City Council does hereby express its sincere appreciation and thanks to Kathy Zammit for her exceptional career serving the city of Brampton, and extends our heartfelt best wishes to Kathy as she retires and seeks out new adventures in life. dated at Brampton this 22nd day of June 2011. All those in favor? Start working our way through the list, and we'll allow you the honor to be the last speaker. Councillor Miles. Oh, gee. Okay, maybe we should let Councillor Miles go a little later. Would you like to?
Maybe.
Okay, Councillor Sprovieri.
I'll go
Okay,
after
okay. You want to go later? Okay, Councillor Sprovieri.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor, and since there's so many speakers, I'll just be very brief. Kathy, it's been real wonderful knowing you all these years and working with you. I believe you're a model administrator. You've set the standard here in Brampton, and it's people like you that give a good reflection of the municipality to the public. So thanks very much for your good service.
Thank you, John. Councillor Gibson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Kathy and I go back longer than since I've been on council. Kathy may not remember this, but I was the chairman of the Citizens Advisory Committee, and I first met her when we were doing the Citizen Advisory Committees. I came in to the clerk's department to talk to the clerk, and the clerk passed me on to Kathy, and from that day on, we just had, I think, a great relationship, and Kathy's been my go-to person for 20 years. When I needed something, it was always Kathy that I called for advice, and no matter what it was in the city. So Kathy, thank you very much for that 20 years, and I wish I could retire with you. But it's been a great pleasure, and I wish you all the best, and I know as a boater, you're going to enjoy your summer. So thank you.
Councillor Moore.
Thank you. It's interesting that the resolution talks about Kathy trading in her dress shoes for
Topsiders.
topsiders. Just a quick little story. Not too many years ago, former councillor Lorna Bissell was visiting at my home, and so to save Lorna, you know, having to get around to see everybody that she wanted to touch base with when she was here visiting, I would have a few people into my place. And there was one Friday night, or maybe it wasn't a Friday night, one night through the week anyways, Kathy joined us at our home so she could have a visit with Lorna. And we had another friend there by the name of Brenda. I won't go into a lot about Brenda, but everybody should have a Brenda in their life. Brenda inadvertently put on Kathy's shoes when she left and went home with them. Well, you had to have seen Kathy's shoes were a very nice pair of dress shoes, and Brenda's were not. So how she could have made the mistake and taken the wrong pair of shoes home, I don't know. But when I brought Brenda's shoes up to show them to Kathy, I said, well, you could wear Brenda's home. She says, no, thanks. So we went into my closet, and we found a pair of shoes that would fit Kathy, and she wore home, and she liked them. And she liked them so much, actually, that the next day when I brought her in her shoes that Brenda dropped off at my home in the morning, Kathy had dressed entirely to match the shoes of mine that she'd worn home the night before. Kathy, if I still had those shoes, I'd give them to you as a retirement gift, but I think when I moved last year, I probably purged. But I guess the purpose in telling the story is that you're going to be leaving very big shoes to fill here at the City of Brampton. And you will be missed, and you've certainly made a difference in this organization. So I hope to see you in your topsiders after you've retired. Thanks.
Councillor Hutton?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The first, most important thing I think about Kathy is empathy, genuine concern for everybody. Perhaps it's because she's a survivor, like I am, of health issues and things like that. But Kathy, when she says, "How are you?" she means it. She wants to know how you are. It's not a, "Hi, how are you doing?" type of thing, but Kathy is deeply concerned about each and every one of us. Kathy's driven me, she and her husband Chris, or by herself, have taken me home on numerous occasions. Times I should have been driven home, and I want to thank you for that very much, for one reason or another. But there may be a nicer person, but I've never met them. Thank you.
That's nice. Councillor Palaszczuk?
Sorry, Sanderson just made me laugh there. Don't go. I remember when you came on board and you brought stability to the clerk's department, and did a fantastic job. I also remember you and I had a discussion when there was a regional clerk's job opening up at the Region Appeal. And you mentioned to me that, what was it like at the region? And I told you that I think you should stay here because we absolutely need you here in the city, and that you would go places here in the city, and you have. And I think that you have done an absolute incredible job for us here at council, in that in dealing with the idiosyncrasies that we have and the different personalities, and you were the stable person for us, especially at the clerk's department. The one thing you really have to do, though, is get rid of Chris, the Chris Kraft, not your husband, Chris. I think it's time that now that you're going to enjoy retirement, that you get a bloody fiberglass boat rather than the wood one that you have, so that you can spend more time cruising rather than plugging every year the holes in the wooden yacht that you have, which is natural with those. Over the winter they shrink, and you got to go around and plug up all the holes and then put it in the water and hope it doesn't leak. And I really think that it's time that you got yourself something else, and really had a great retirement. I hear the summer's going to be wet, but don't worry about it. If you're out there on the lake, it doesn't matter whether it's raining or not. It's always nice to be out in the water and calming. So congratulations on your retirement. Absolutely going to miss you and your smiling face. And that, so hopefully we will see you again, and that throughout, maybe you can come back under contract the odd time on some of the others. It seems to happen here at the city that people get to do that, and I tell you that I, for one, would absolutely welcome you back if you decided that it was too much, Chris was taking up too much of your time, and that you needed to get away from him for a while. You're always welcome back here. And congratulations on a great job that you've done for the city.
Thank you. Councillor Sanderson?
Thank you. I haven't been around as long as a lot of these other people, Kathy, but I have known you for a number of years from the outside, and I could see what a great job you're doing there. So that's why I run for council, get on the inside to see what you really are doing. But I have to tell you, you're one of my favorite commissioners to work with, and they're all here, so I'm not hiding nothing. Just one of my favorite.
You always like the ladies' job.
Yeah, that's right. That's the reason I did that. But seriously, Kathy, you've done a great job for the city, and you are going to be missed. And ditto a lot of the other things that were said. I don't want to say too much more because I just look and we don't have any Kleenex on this side here, so I don't want to. But have a great retirement, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. Councillor Dillon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say, I still remember when I elected the first time, and she was the first person who called me, say congratulations for City of Brampton. And it was fun working with Kathy, and I never heard cant and no word from her, always smiling. Keep it up and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you. Councillor Callahan?
Kathy, I can tell you how well-liked you are is that I couldn't even get on the board. I had to cheat and go into the request to question list, got bumped up, get a chance to speak. I don't think I was around that long, Kathy. I was still down at Queen's Park, I guess, in '91. But I judge people, or used to pick juries on the basis of looking in the eyes of the individual. And if I saw in those eyes a person who would be honest, compassionate, I usually selected them. Well, I have to tell you that if you were in the jury panel and I was selecting, you would be my first pick. You're a kind person, and I wish you, I'll keep you in my prayers. Hope that you and your husband will have a long and happy holiday. And just look out for the water spouts. Have you ever seen a water spout? You gotta be careful, you'll wind up there before your time. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Councillor Hames.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was a new councillor, I think, just a few months after Kathy started with the City of Brampton, like Councillor Gibson did. And through those 20 years, doesn't seem like 20 years, but it is, I've always known Kathy to be a good listener, someone you could go to for advice quite easily, someone you could have lots of fun with at different times. And